Is this a normal routine for when you've ever had a suspected head injury? Like, it's been 48 hours and a lot of testing at a neurologist. Is that the way it always is, or is there a special reason for that?
No, I think it's in the best interest of the athlete, and I don't think my case is any different. They want to make sure that everything's okay. After a hit like that, and evaluate you, they would anybody.
So when you've had concussion-like symptoms in the past, it's been a similar battery of tests after that, or is this a little more extensive?
No, it's just protocol. It's just the way it is. It's a lot of it is precautionary. Just to make sure the athlete's okay.
So is that normal then to take 2 or 3 days to determine whether you suffered a concussion or not?
Well, I think so. You don't want to speculate, and that's what you want to stay away from, is all the speculation, and that's something that I think drives this issue more than any other issue in sports, is speculation. And you want to be right. You want to be right. You want to make sure that your assessment is done properly, and it's done the right way. And that's what our staff does. And that's I think how you should handle that issue.
On that subject, there has been a lot of speculation. Would you like to set the record straight and tell us how many concussions you've had as a Blue Bomber, and how many you've had as a pro football player?
Well, I'm going to talk about this current injury. I'm not going to go into the past, because the past is the past. People are going to speculate anyway. It's just like I said. People are going to throw their opinion out there, whether it be right or wrong. And I know the truth of it, and the people that are close to me know the truth of it, and the people that need to know the truth know the truth. And it's not like we're trying to hide anything or anything like that. It's just this issue has so many things that go along with it, and it's a hot button in sports. And anytime you see a hit like that, whether it be pee-wee football or the professional level, people are going to speculate, and you have to stay away from that.
You classified the hit as dirty. You want to elaborate more on that?
Yeah, well, I did say that, and I'll stick by that. I think it was a cheap shot, and I think it was dirty. He had my whole midsection, upper body to hit. You see the shot, you see the picture. He's not trying to wrap. He's not trying to stop the play from developing within the confines of the rules. And I see it as I think most people who saw the hit or have seen the pictures classify it as, and it's not the way the game should be played. And obviously I'm upset about that.
Would you classify it as a deliberate intent to injure, as they would in hockey?
Yeah, I would.
Because we don't know what's going to happen to you in terms of you might not miss any games, you might miss one game, you might miss multiple games. Would you like to see him suspended for a game?
I'd like to see something done about it. Suspension, fine, whatever. I just think it has to be some kind of repercussions to it. It's something that they've spent a lot of time and a lot of money on addressing. And not just in the CFL, but everywhere. It's not a part of the game. You're not allowed to do that, and those guys know the rules.
What's the maximum fine? Like, it's kind of a joke, isn't it?
I'm not sure what the maximum fine is. If a player goes out to attempt to injure, then I think that completely goes against the fiber of this game and what this game stands for.
Do you expect to play Monday?
I expect, the way I'm feeling today, I expect to be on the practice field and do what is expected of me as a quarterback, and that's be ready to go. Like Coach Burke said, there's still a process, and there's some guidelines that they have to follow.
Do you understand why people are concerned for your
Oh, of course I do.
long-term health?
Of course I do, and it's out of respect. It's out of getting to know me as a person as well, and I understand that people care, and I understand that the people want to see you do well, and people have a level of respect for you that they feel for you on a personal level, and I understand that, and I appreciate that, but at the end of the day, it's me out there doing it, and it's everybody's going to have their opinions, and right or wrong, it's my decision at this point, and I feel that I'm owed that, to a point.
You don't think you need to be protected against yourself? Like your desire to play football couldn't potentially put you out there in a situation where you shouldn't be?
No, I don't. This is, professional football. I fully understand every situation that I put myself into, and they understand that too. If they felt that I wasn't able to physically go out there and play, or that it would be a risk, for the club or for me, going out there and play, then they wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't do it. I'm not a guy that's just going out there, wanting to go down in a blaze of flames or anything like that. I want to go out and I want to have a long career. I want to be a guy that wins many more football games down the road.
There's a lot of unknown in this, however, we're learning so much about concussions and head trauma all the time as we go on. Do you worry that, that what you think now might not be enough, and that, there may be repercussions from what you're going through right now?
Well, that's the reality of the game that I have the great pleasure of playing. There's always what ifs and all these things, and we as athletes, we understand that. Maybe somebody outside looking in would say, man, I don't know if it's worth it. It's worth it to me. It's worth going out there and doing a game that I'm so blessed to be able to play and love playing. I understand the risk. I understand all these things.
What is the last test that you have to pass before you can get back on the field, before you're cleared to play?
Well, it's just, I'm not a, specialist in all these things. I kind of do what I'm told, and they give me the results. It's just, something to once you're symptom free, which I am, and which I have been, for a while now. Just making sure that the baseline test that you take before the season, matches up with how you're feeling and what you do. It's nothing more than just some simple memorization and stuff like that.
So the SCAT test that you had prior to this season, that's the last test you have to pass. Now your SCAT test has to match up to your SCAT test now has to match up to the one you had prior to the season?
Correct.
So that's the last thing you have to pass.
Yeah. And and the main thing to remember is that you're symptom free. That's the big issue. You never want to put yourself in a situation where you're still having symptoms and go back out there and play.
I don't want to badger you, but I need to ask you one more time. How many concussions have you had while you're with the Blue Bombers?
I'm not gonna go there, Gary.
Thanks.
And I appreciate you respecting that.
Yep.
Did they tell you what you failed in your test?
No. I don't know. I thought I aced it. So.
Were you upset that Matt Dunnigan talked about your conversation that he had with you?
Yes, a little bit. I was. I wasn't, I knew, he would be contacted by, members of the media, for his past. But that's him. That's him. Dunnigan's a friend of mine, and was a little, put back, to read it in the paper the next day.
Why did you come out of the game on Saturday?
Well, after the hit, I had a abrasion on my chin, and we went in to assess that and make sure I was okay because of the extent of the hit. Every time a play like that happens, they want to make sure that you're okay. And even last year, when I took those 2 big hits, they bring you off, they talk to you. If I would have been cut at that situation, they would have gone and handled that. When I went back on the field, took a few more hits. They reassessed me. When I come off the field, talked to me a little bit more at halftime, and they made the decision there. And that was really what it was. They decided at this point in the game, the best interest of myself was to rest me the rest of the half.
What were you experiencing, though? Well, at halftime, were you experiencing any symptoms?
Well, yeah, it's one of those things. It has been reported that it was a mild concussion. And you have a bit of a headache, but anybody's going to have a headache, after a hit like that.